my hair and makeup girl?
Sorry, she blew me and left.
You want to start out in front?
Yeah, let's start. She's brilliant. You know what? We actually now we're gonna have fun. We are gonna do this.
Why not? For only you live once, baby.
We'll start with the foot through the rainbow because I have a little opening we can do with this. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready? Hit it.
Okay, folks. Welcome to the curator's tour of the Visions of Garcia auction and sale at Bonham's. We wanted to put the foot through the rainbow original artwork right here at the bottom of the stairs because that's kind of how we feel about this. Everybody's kind of stepping into the rainbow with this exhibit. And it's just a beautiful piece. You can see that it's signed by both Stanley Mouse and
Kelly.
Alton Kelly. And they did play around once they derived the airbrush from the original with some of the color schemes and that sort of thing, with the colors in the rainbow, and they sort of reversed them, that sort of stuff. But this is the original artwork. And in fact, Kelly's wife is coming to the party in San Francisco on May the 4th because she wants to see this piece because she hasn't seen it since it was done. This is an original vintage Courtney Pollock mandala that was hung at Winterland, that was hung at a number of different shows, on stage, backstage, and Courtney told me that he thinks this may be the best piece that he ever did.
Wow.
And he makes a big deal about
Mandela's.
how many rows of scarabs there are. He calls these scarabs. And usually you'll have at least one, sometimes two, sometimes three rings, not rows, rings of these scarabs. And this one, if you'll notice, it's got 4 rings going all the way out. Incredible, beautiful symmetry, incredible detail, just a masterpiece.
Perfect, man.
So let's move on over here to
king size?
that is
Queen.
It's 9 feet
It's
by
queen.
9 feet.
Let's truck in to the next art piece. Let's keep on going.
This is the original artwork for Wetlands 2. One of the most famous, one of the most well-known, one of the most recognizable of all the Garcia artwork pieces. Its companion piece, Wetlands 1, is also spectacular. And we are very fortunate to have not just one of the large-scale Garcia airbrush pieces, but it was thought that there were only 5, the 2 facets, the 2 wetlands, and Blue Iceberg. But it turns out there are 7 because we have Alien Craft and Brain, which have now been resurfaced, and they've been hiding since 1986.
True.
Luckily, they've been hiding out of the sunlight, so they haven't been damaged and they look brand new. But Wetlands 2 just looks just spectacular, and you can see how good the depth is. You can see the electric quality of the blue just really, really nicely in this original artwork.
This is not a lithograph.
That is not a litho. And the litho that we do have was the one that Jerry gave to his brothers, who was also very special.
Correct.
Now, this is not just a couple of cabinets
Boxes.
from the Wall of Sound, which would be a big deal all by itself. Anything from the Wall of Sound, people go nuts for.
Yeah.
But when they built the Wall of Sound, Jerry had them make these 2 cabinets special. They're the only single 12 Wall of Sound cabinets. All the other cabinets from the Wall of Sound that have 12-inch drivers are at least 2 12s or 2 12s with a 4-speaker line array.
These are referred to as monoblocks. That's the tech name.
Actually, monoblocks is for amplification.
Correct.
But these are
Speakers.
These were also done with rounded corners, like the monitor speakers that they used to build for their studio. And you'll see all the other Wall of Sound cabinets have squared corners. They put a lot of extra care into these with the joints and the rounded corners like the monitors because these were for Jerry's clean tone. Jerry had these done with the wall so he could put them right over his shoulder, and you'll see them right over his shoulder in a lot of photographs. And instead of like with any other Wall of Sound cabinet, you're like, oh look, it's one of these. With this one, it's like, okay, which one's which? Because you see them right there over his shoulder, and they're highly identifiable. And Rock Scully told me they were the best sounding speakers in the whole Wall of Sound back in the day. There was also a point where Keith said to Jerry, he said, Jerry, I can't hear your guitar well enough. So they moved these over and put them over. It's not San Francisco, it's not an earthquake. And they put them over by Keith so that Keith could hear Jerry's clean tone better. So in pictures of the Wall of Sound, you'll see him either right over Jerry's shoulder, or you'll see him right over Keith's piano pointed toward Keith. And they are nothing short of spectacular. We have here a couple of vintage banners that were used for decoration backstage in the 80s. Both gorgeous examples, relatively rare pieces. You see these images a lot, but these particular banners are pretty rare. This is the what they called the trainer guitar. Jerry had this guitar built or bought and then hot rodded because they were going to teach all the kids in the family, you know, to play guitar. He wanted them to have a guitar, and he liked it so much he just held on to it. And then he stashed it at the studio where he and John Kahn used to hang out, so he could play it there. So he was never seen walking in and out of the studio with a guitar. That way they weren't like, oh look, it's Jerry. We have the two fully restored hard trucker monitor speakers. Now these were not originally, all these parts were not originally together. What we did was we got an original set of cabinets, we got an original set of drivers, and then Courtney actually had, from 1972, still brand new, still unused, still sitting in a drawer at his house, the covers.
Oh, right on.
So what we did was we got the covers and the drivers and the cabinets, which also still had the original wall of sound cabling that they have inside, and we restored this set back to fully functional.
You want to hear a footnote to those speakers, those little boxes?
Sure.
Guess who, those actually inspired the company Oratone.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's where those came from.
Absolutely. We call them Oratones on steroids.
Yep, exactly.
And we had Rutz and Shirtliff reassemble them because we figured it should be a hard trucker who put them back together.
Amen.
Here we have the 1977 Ibanez guitar that was designed for Jerry with input from Bob, but turned out, apparently from what I understand from Rock Scully, Jerry really loved the guitar, but they tried so hard to include everything that Jerry uses within the guitar itself that it became incredibly heavy. The guitar weighs 16 pounds.
16
so
pounds.
it wasn't practical to play standing up. Great to sit down, put
Hurts
your
your
lap,
back.
but 16 pounds for 3-4 hours a night could hurt you. We have Jerry's Takamine acoustic guitar and the strap that was with this guitar that he used every time he played it. He played this guitar consistently from about 84, 85, all the way through at least 88, maybe 89. This was the guitar that was played at the Bridge School benefit in 88, the Christmas benefit at the Warfield, December 17th, 87. This is the guitar from the Lunt-Fontaine run that became the Almost Acoustic record. It's on the cover of Ragged But Right and Pure Jerry Volume 8. It's actually on the back cover of Ragged But Right as well. This is also the guitar that was is visible in all those shots from '86 with the red shirt and the acoustic guitar. That's all this guitar, and it's highly identifiable because it has these very characteristic
vertical rib lines, yeah.
Sort of almost fingerprint stripes, these light strips that go across the guitar. And as you see it in different videos and photographs, it's very easy to identify. And usually with acoustic guitars, you have to look a little harder for other characteristics. With this one, they just stand right out. So you can just go, bam, there it is. And as I started looking on YouTube and looking through photographs from that period, you Google Garcia acoustic anywhere in the mid to late 80s, and this is the guitar that you're gonna see.
Cool.
I found so many pictures of this guitar that we didn't even know what to use. Beautiful,
that's good.
Beautiful piece.
Usually
now,
you don't find any.
I know that nobody, don't laugh. This was Jerry's tour jacket from '89 fall tour. Don't think it was going to really fit his size or style, so he gave this to his daughter Annabelle. And
did she ever wear it?
I suspect that she did, although I don't know for sure. You have to ask her.
I will.
Then we'll move on over here to the Dylan and the Dead original artwork. Now, with Rick Griffin, what he did was he didn't always do just one version of something. When he did this artwork, he did at least 2 versions. And what they did was he would play around with the shading and the highlighting, trying to figure out what would work best for the cover.
What is it, marker?
No. This is all paint. And you can see the brush strokes. I mean, if you look, when you get a chance, come over here and look close, and you can see all the beautiful brush strokes.
Oh, yeah.
Lighting off the eye and all this highlighting here.
Looks like a marker.
It's really gorgeous.
Cool.
And this was the one that Rick framed to give to Jerry. And Jerry, he brought it into the office and gave it to Jerry. And Jerry immediately, as he would do with things that he
Property.
really liked,
Yeah.
promptly wrote property of J. Garcia on the back. So not only is this original artwork signed by Rick Griffin, it's signed by Jerry Garcia too.
2-for-1 special.
Exactly. This photograph actually goes with this lot to sort of put it into context. This is a separate lot from Herb Green, and this is the very, very last copy of this image that Herb had. This is number 1 out of the edition of '53, and the sharpness on this is just you can really tell the difference between a professional photographer and the rest of us when you look at something like this.
Sure.
This is an original. This isn't the '76 reprint. This is the original 1969 poster. This belonged to Jerry's brother, Tiff Garcia. This is one of the original Further Tour posters, but this was the one that Michael Everett gave to Dick Latvala. And not only did he sign it for Dick, but he did a bunch of extra original artwork on the litho and then signed it for him. So even though it's a litho, it's got some original artwork on here. Hell of a nice piece.
Show of hands. Who was at that show? You were there, right?
I think I hit some of these shows.
Were you there, Sam? No.
You can post this video on Facebook too, right?
If you want me to. It's all good.
One of Jerry's red T-shirts. Now, we got this information directly from the source, directly from the woman who ordered and bought these T-shirts. Now, you would think that they were, oh, it's just a red T-shirt. Well, it wasn't quite that easy. She convinced Jerry, you gotta stop wearing black all the time. How about wear something with some color? He said, fine, go get me something. So she went out to get some red shirts, couldn't find exactly what she was looking for. Had to have a pocket, and it had to be the right size. She wound up having to go to a special store, or some store in San Rafael, and special order these shirts. So she tells me this story, and I said, well, how many did you order? She said, I don't know, 8, 10, no more than a dozen. So we know that there were no more than a dozen of the red T-shirts. So they're pretty darn cool.
What's the tag say?
And it's got an authentic cigarette hole from Jerry nodding
Is
out
there a
on
tag?
it.
Yeah, we can get the tag. Come on, come get the tag.
Okay.
The tag is a very strange art off-brand. The brand is Christopher Hart.
Wow.
And it's a 4X big man.
Let's get that again. That is just.
And I've never heard of a Christopher Hart shirt in my life. So,
yeah.
you know,
wow.
we know what we got here. This is a wonderful piece.
It even
This
has
is,
a smelled essence of cherry.
This is one of the 2 Sonar Rosewood matching drum kits that Billy and Mickey had made in Germany in 1977. These were played by both Billy and Mickey, matching sets. From 77 to about 83, you'll see them in a lot of the famous Greek theater photographs with the big Courtney backdrop. And
It's got the PLJ Grateful Dead sticker.
from KLOS.
Yep.
This is Billy's set, which he gifted to Mickey's son.
Wow.
And Mickey's set is actually on display right now at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame exhibit. Here we have a litho of